Hi everyone, my name is Steve Romsine. I own Automated Driving Design, and thanks very much for taking your time to view our product with us. We're here today, we're going to introduce the PopLink line. The PopLink line is a mounting system, mostly used in industry, commercial type applications, to mount various devices such as sensors, switches, light systems, cameras, lasers. It kind of goes on and on and on from there. It's an extremely affordable product. Most importantly, it's designed to reach those hard to get to places. This thing has dexterity like what you won't believe. You can articulate it. You can combine these guys together and you can get just about anywhere you need to get with a given sensor or a given product. With that being said, I'm going to get a little bit more into this. Sit down here in a minute and explain to you in more specifically what these details are. Thanks. Okay, we're ready for the quick intro. First of all, we start out with the base. By the way, the bases of all systems. We have Knuckles, which is adaptable to a product on either end of it, a ball type product. We have 3 posts. We have a standard post, which is non-telescopic. We have a 2-inch post, which is telescopic. We have a 6-inch post, which is telescopic. In addition to that, we have a 1/4-20 thread adapter, which is used sometimes still yet in today for mounting various cameras, kind of a standard thread in that industry. We have power balls. Again, we'll zoom up on these so you can see more in detail how they work. We have a series of 7 hyperlinks, starting at 2-inch, running through 14-inch. These are basically extension devices so that you can reach out and hopefully get closer to your object. Here we have sensor brackets or switch brackets. We have a total of 7 of those. And then we have around the periphery here we have just a few of many of the camera and light mounting brackets that we offer. With that being said, we're going to zoom up in here and get to work. Thanks. A quick description on the bases. Every system requires a base. It all starts with the base. It has 2 slots, one on either side. Obviously the 2 clamp bolts. It has a spherical ID socket to receive the ball, respective part, whatever you put into this guy. It has a counterbore hole from the top down inside here so that you can take a socket head cap screw and fasten the product from the top. It also has 2 side holes, which you can actually see better from the bottom here, where you can take 2 bolts and put it through from the top and secure the product with those 2 bolts. Or the bottom hole, the middle hole is threaded so that you can actually take a screw, put it up through from the bottom and secure it also. Pretty amazing thing when torqued to the proper torque. By the way, the torque is shown on the drawings. This thing becomes a pretty amazing little device as far as its clamp force. We'll show you a little more later on as to how strong these fellows are. Again, this is the start of all systems. Every once in a while we get asked, how strong are the PopLinks? So this is our attempt to show you. We've taken a couple of pieces of scrap material here and we've welded them together. We put them on a scale. It comes out to approximately 108 pounds, it looks like. From the center of the ball back to the center of this piece right here is approximately 4 inches. To kind of give you an idea, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lower the weight onto the post. Down, down, down. Okay, we are now free, and as you can see, the weight is free to float in here. Keep in mind that the The bolts are torqued to the spec that are shown on the drawings, and we think that this is a pretty amazing joint. We hope that you agree with this. Thanks. Here we have the post family. Primarily, as you can see, there are three of these guys. First and most simple is what we refer to as the standard post. It's a fixed position, non-telescopic. Secondly, we have a 2-inch telescopic post. And thirdly, we have a 6-inch telescopic post. Used primarily to find your final position, move in and out to whatever that might be, tighten the set screw to within its correct specification, and it's pretty well it. Very important link here. It's usually, with the telescopic post in particular, they're used to do a final tweak to get you precisely where you want prior to locking everything down. Okay, again moving on. This time we're going to talk about the Powerball. Powerball is an extremely important part of the PopLink system. It's primarily designed to fit onto the end of the telescopic post, both of them. Not so much the basic post. If you had this on here, you're going to spend a little extra money, primarily because for less money you can use one of the hyperlinks and end up with the same results. So kind of like to get into installation of the Powerball. First of all, there's a set screw in the end of it. Let's back that set screw almost all the way out. The nut can be removed, no longer necessary with the Powerball. And we can take the Powerball, we can thread it on to the post, once again one of the telescopic posts, and we can take our Allen wrenches and tighten it down snug. Okay, making sure that these two bolts are very tight, torqued to spec, so that we don't rotate this. We can now take our Allen wrench and come in here and really tighten this guy down, very, very tight. Again, remember to refer to the drawings for the correct torque specs of all the fasteners. Okay, I'm going to move on real quick to the 1/4 20 thread adapter, which is this little fella here. Bring another fixture into place here. And in this particular case, we do want to keep the nut onto the end of the post. By the way, this will fit on all threaded devices on both the telescopic post and the standard post. Very simple concept here. Thread it on to wherever you need it to be. Firm the lock nut up. Making sure once again that these two bolts are tight so that we cannot rotate the post within the socket. And then primarily we can take the wrench and we can now tighten this guy very snug, and it is secure and it will stay in position. I'd like to introduce to you the new AD&D product. We call it the 90-degree ball adapter. It's part of our erector set, as we call it, building block, and it's comprised of two threads, a male thread, female thread, of which both of them are 10 millimeter. As you can see, we have a spherical ball in the center. It's designed to be used with either our standard post, this guy, or the 2-inch telescopic post, or the 6-inch telescopic post. Give you a quick example of how to use this thing. This fixture that I have set up is obviously with the 2-inch telescopic post. I'm going to thread the ball adapter onto the end of it, like thus. And I've chosen to use a knuckle, of which I'll pop onto the spherical ball here. And then here I have a hyperlink, an 8-inch hyperlink, which will fit in and pop into this end, and I can receive that particular product. I'm not going to tighten these bolts. This is also referred to as a branch T, which is pretty self-explanatory, as shown.
I can now come out here. I could add another knuckle. I could go with another post and go ahead and configure out to an object out here such as a light source or a camera or whatever. Basically, it's a device that can be used to get into tighter spots where maybe you might not be able to do it with some of our other standard products. In some cases it can be a cost reduction because you don't have to buy two bases and etc. Okay, with that being said, we'll take this guy off and let me bring this guy into play, and you can better see how this thing works. As you can see here, this is the 90-degree ball adapter, and kind of as we went through earlier, I have a knuckle attached here, a hyperlink, another knuckle here, a standard post. I have a light bracket mounted onto that, and clear over on this side I have a camera. So that gives you a pretty good idea of the building block concept and maybe the versatility of how these things can be used. Of course, when the bolts are tightened down and secured, you have a pretty awesome assembly. Pretty well lit for now, and thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Kylie. Today I'm going to be talking to you about our new product release. It's called the Extrusion Adapter. Our extrusion adapter was designed for aluminum extrusions such as this right here. They can be mounted to Parco, 8020, Bosch, any aluminum extrusions that you can think of. Our extrusion adapter was also designed for having aluminum extrusions that are having 5/16 18ths or 8 millimeters by 1.25 T-nuts. It is our most cost-effective product that we have on the line. And it is also designed for small sensor mounting brackets, such as these that are already mounted. They're not designed for camera brackets or light brackets, just to prevent vibration conditions. We're also going to be using all thread hex nuts. We're going to be using a washer and a T-nut. However, those do not come with that. You have to provide those yourself. We do recommend using a shorter length of all thread just to prevent the vibrations. Let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to go ahead and insert the T-nut into the fixture. We're going to add our washer onto the all thread. We're going to thread that as tight as we can with our hands and adjust it and position it to wherever you would like. We're going to tighten it and then take it back one full rotation. Then we're going to tighten the hex nut with our hands as tight as you can. And then we're going to go back and tighten it with our wrench. I'm going to get that on there, and we're going to go ahead and tighten it. And there we go. Now it's nice and tight. Now we're going to go ahead and thread our extrusion adapter onto the all thread. And once you get that on there, as tight as you can with your hands, and we're going to go ahead and add our 18 millimeter sensor bracket onto the extrusion adapter until they bottom out. Now once you get that on there, we'll take both of our wrenches and tighten our product. There you go. And once it's in this position, you want to rotate it to however you would like it to be positioned. And then you're going to tighten the hex nut down here. And once you get that hand tightened, we're going to go back and tighten it with our wrenches so we can make sure we get a firm tight, or it's firm. And there you have it.
This is the knuckle. Very important part of the system, very important. As you can see, it's primarily a one-piece knuckle, even though it's two halves, held together by this web. Kind of the way it operates is when you tighten the 4 bolts, this web will actually protrude or bulge out, permitting the two halves to go together to make a good clamp. A good hint, good thing to remember here. I'll give you an example. When installing this, it's important that you have both parts, this guy in this particular case, in hand, and kind of do it all at one time. Pop this guy on, pop this guy on. I can now come back and secure all 4 of my bolts. And I have a good clamp. If you don't follow this procedure, you'll quickly learn to do so, because what will happen, you'll tighten the 2 bolts down here and you get ready to install this part. It won't go in there because this top half is going to be closed. So just an important thing to remember, helpful hint, and keep you going. Introducing the Hyperlink family product line. As you can see, we have several of these, 7 actually, ranging anywhere in length from a 2-inch through a 14-inch. This particular one, as an example, is a 6-inch Hyperlink. We do need to explain that that dimension that goes along with the name is the distance between the center of the 2 outside balls. So from the center of this ball to the center of this ball is a 6-inch unit. So we have a fixture built up here. We'll grab one of these guys. We'll take this 6-inch unit, and by the way, from time to time we are asked, how did PopLink get its name? This is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to show you real quickly. Pop, we do have the PopLink. Okay, now every 2 inches, 2, 4, 6, every 2 inches on all of these, there's another sphere. Those are sometimes referred to as branch tees, to where you can take another product such as a knuckle, and you can mount it to whatever appropriate sphere you would like to. You can put it to the top, we can come down, we can go to the any one of these. At that point in time, we can take other devices. We could take another Hyperlink, we could take a post, and we can start building off of that to go to maybe a secondary object. We have another example that we'd like to show you. This guy's pre-built to give you an idea. I think here we have a 8-inch Hyperlink. Attached to it on either end, on each ball on the outside, is a knuckle. On this particular side, we take off with a basic post, and it looks like we may have a 30 millimeter sensor bracket attached to it, so you can kind of start to see the what we're talking about as far as the range of articulation. This guy just goes on and on and on. It can point anywhere you want to point it to. Over on this half, we have a 2-inch telescopic post, kind of the same thing. It can reach up, it can reach out, and go anywhere you need for this little rascal to go. That's pretty well it for the Hyperlink family. Sensor mounting brackets. You can see we have 7 different sizes of sensor mounting brackets, starting with a 5 millimeter, 8, 12, 18, and 30. We also have a couple of blank sizes. We have a small blank, a large blank. Those guys are primarily designed in case you may have an application to where we do not have a bracket. Hopefully you could order one of these that will fit your application, put your own holes in it, and you'll be in business. These guys are kind of unique in the fact that we have the twisty bracket, what we refer to as the twisty bracket. This guy right here, this guy actually holds the end product perpendicular to the motion of travel, if you will. Pretty unique feature, and it gives you a tremendous amount of range, as you can see, in addition to being able to rotate this fella inside its socket. So we have kind of over here, we have another example of a proc switch mounted actually to one of the telescopic units. Again, look at the dexterity and the flexibility, if you will. of this product. One of my favorites, actually. I love any sensor attached to a telescopic post. It further enhances its range. So that's pretty well it for these fellas. I'd like to talk to you a moment about the accessory mounting brackets, primarily developed for cameras, lighting systems, and obviously other peripheral devices of your choice. An interesting product in the way it's been developed. We have what we refer to as a twisty tab, which holds the product perpendicular to the axis of motion of swing. We have way too many of these to show to you, so we just picked a couple out here for an example. I'll show you quickly what can transpire here as far as motion of travel. As you can see, it's pretty well unlimited. Obviously, when you loosen those two set screws or lock screws, you can rotate this thing and we can pretty well point it anywhere we want to point it. Another very important part of the PopLink system. Thanks. We appreciate your taking the time with us today to view our product line. As you can see, I'm extremely excited personally of what we have to offer. As you can see, we feel that we have a lot to offer you. Might want to follow us. We've got a lot of new product on the drawing board continuously that we'll be bringing out. And I think probably the most important thing that I can tell you is if you have some special applications of some type, don't hesitate, please, to be in touch with us. We're going to do our very best to help you be successful, and we too will be successful. Thank you for your time.